What is going on, people? Triple M back again with another video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I would like to talk about one of the most exciting young prospects coming out of Ligue 1, Leny Yoro. The 18-year-old centre-back has been heavily linked with a number of big clubs in Europe, PSG, Real Madrid, and more specifically some Premier League clubs, my beloved club, Manchester United being one of them. So I thought it would be a fun idea just to talk about him, his pros, his cons, and whether or not I think he's good enough for the Premier League, and more specifically, would I take him at Manchester United? So let's take a look at his numbers. These are his numbers taken from the past season with Lille in Ligue 1, and they actually finished 4th this season, which is an improvement off their last couple of seasons where they finished 8th and 5th respectively. So I think Leny Yoro has been a big part of that, and looking at his numbers in the white, that's where we'll start. 96% of his aerial duels won across an entire season. That is sensational. That is phenomenal, especially when you understand that Leny Yoro is not a big player. Yes, he's tall. I believe he's 6'3" or 190, maybe 191 centimeters, but he's not bulky, right? He doesn't really have the strength and the muscle to be bullying people in the air. And so to have that high of a percentage when it comes to your aerial duels across an entire season is superb. Regardless of the sample size, I think that's superb. Then you look at his defensive duels won, 74%. Again, for an 18-year-old playing in Lille and being a regular starter in that defense, a defense that is a top 4 team in Ligue 1, that's pretty impressive, I reckon, right? That is very, very, very impressive in my opinion. So those are the first two green flags. Green flag number 3 is you look at his numbers there in possession in the pink, 96% pass accuracy. So this is somebody who is a safe pair of feet, and this is somebody who you can rely on to recycle possession and not do anything silly at the back. Now, it can be a little bit deceiving because some people misprofile him as a ball-playing defender. I don't necessarily think he's a ball-playing defender. It depends on what your definitions are. Because for me, a ball-playing defender is somebody who is playing at centre-back who has the technical ability to spray the ball into the final third or spray the ball into the midfield or progress the ball out to the flanks. This is someone like a Harry Maguire. This is someone like a Lisandro Martinez. They are capable of playing defence-splitting passes from the defence, and they are an integral part of a team's build-up. For me, Leny Yoro is not really that. Yes, you can pass him the ball, but he's not really going to drive into open space, and he's not really going to play a progressive pass and take risks. He's more someone who's going to look to just recycle possession and give it to someone else so that they can progress it forward. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just something worth observing when it comes to Leny Yoro. One of the things that also gets brought up a lot when it comes to Leny Yoro, if you read a lot of scouting reports, if you watch Leny Yoro, whether it's the highlights, whether it's you watch some of his highlights on Scout, or even if you watch the Ligue 1, which I imagine most of the people watching this video haven't, one of the things that comes up is just how much of an intelligent defender he is, which I think is a big plus, right? He's somebody who's very good at reading the game, and he's a very passive defender. So where he strives the most is when he's got somebody next to him who can play as a stopper, somebody who can be an aggressive player who's going to venture off the defensive line and be the proactive one and do all the donkey work. You know, get into those 1v1 duels and allow Leny Yoro to just sit back and be the cover. So he almost wants to see what happens on the pitch first, then he can react, as opposed to someone like Lisandro Martinez, who's going to venture off and try cause chaos on his own. Leny Yoro is literally quite the opposite. And I suppose that's where the cons really start with Leny Yoro, because again, he's a very young player and he doesn't really show a lot of confidence when it comes to his 1v1 duels. He hesitates a lot and he's not very comfortable. So Leny Yoro is a player who's going to have to work on that a lot. In addition to that, he's not the strongest player. As I've alluded to with regards to his aerial duels, he doesn't have a lot of strength and he doesn't have a lot of muscle. So he will get bodied in the Premier League if he doesn't bulk up and work on the physical side of his game. I think another big red flag, an obvious red flag, is the fact that he's 18 years old. So he doesn't really have a lot of experience at the top level. He doesn't really have experience in the Champions League. And obviously, by extension, he won't really have experience in the Premier League, which I think is a massive jump from Ligue 1. And whether or not he can cope with the pressure of not only playing in the Premier League, but potentially playing at a club like Manchester United or a club like Chelsea or a club, whichever other club he'll get linked to in the Premier League, this is a huge, huge red flag. So would I take him at Manchester United? It's a tricky one to answer because with Rafael Varane leaving, he's leaving a massive hole in that defense because, as I've said, I don't want Maguire starting games. So that obviously means if Leny Yoro was hypothetically our only signing of the summer in terms of the centre-back position, I would be worried. I'm not going to lie. I would be very worried. I think Leny Yoro needs to be an understudy to a more experienced centre-back. And I don't know if this is the deal that Manchester United should be going for at the moment. Also, we've got to take into account that Real Madrid are in for this player. PSG are in for this player. And if those clubs are in, I'm almost certain he will pick them over us, right? There's just no competition there. So you know, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Leny Yoro, exciting talent. We know that the French produce excellent defenders, especially recently. They've got an absolute abundance of talent when it comes to that centre-back position. And, you know, it's just what the French do, man. They've got so many talented centre-backs. The fact that Leny Yoro is just another gem, another hidden gem in the sea of gems in that French defence is amazing. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's been your boy Triple M. Peace!